What's going on, DSG? It's your boy Donald Bradley back at y'all another video. Today we got the most annoying plot tropes. We're over here with Olamasama, man. Let's hop into it. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that social media. We ain't that ain't further ado. 3, 2, 1, click. Oh, we said we on this one. Oh, he did say he's gonna put himself in more of the videos.
Yo, there's no way she's alive.
Hey, don't move.
Roll that intro.
When consuming any form of media that has an ounce of story, there will obviously be some narrative elements to make the story more compelling. After encountering enough stories, you'll start to notice certain patterns being used across a multitude of series and genres. Things like the assembly of a team or a character searching for a treasure are all common patterns seen in many narratives. What I've just described to you is a plot trope, and there's a whole lot of them that we see. But it would be a bold-faced lie if I were to say that every trope was good. So in today's video, I want to talk about the tropes that I, and likely other people, find very annoying. And as we work our way through the video, the tropes will get more egregious and challenge my suspension of disbelief to the fullest.
And I'm going to speak on whether or not I agree. You know what I'm saying? Some plot. Hey, if it work, it work. But we gonna see. We gonna see what man's got to say.
There will be no manga spoilers, but anime spoilers are going to be in this video, obviously. With that being said, we're going to start off with tropes that bring some minor annoyances, fairly trivial stuff, but worth mentioning. And the first one is the infamous line, "He's right behind me, isn't he?" Which is just a meme at this point. It's been a staple line in so many TV shows and films for years, and there was a time when the line was actually funny, but that time was like 15 years ago. It doesn't really bother me when I hear it in a movie or see it played out in other settings, but it can be really corny when it's used unironically as a joke in a comedy movie. I think nowadays, the trope is better when the character doesn't even say anything and they just have a look of doom and despair on their face. It's just funny to see how funny a face a character can make when they're caught lacking. This Lex Luthor panel gets me every single time because he knows better than anyone else the gravity of the situation he's in. The Henchman and Spider-Man games also just look hilarious if you pause the game while you're fighting them. And I don't blame them at all. We'd all have this face if we knew Spider-Man was about to cave our skulls into the pavement. But I think we can all agree that...
I mean, like, when you make a factual statement, especially like that, you know what I'm saying? That's just what that is for real.
Bleach is the king of these types of shots, and they honestly never get old. Besides that, there's not really much else to say aside from the trope being extremely played out. Another trope I see people have a problem with is the whole like...
I don't know, like for me, I'm not mad at it at all, to be honest. I think it's funny whenever I see it. It's just one of those things that it's always been around, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to seeing it, so I guess the normalcy of its regularity does not affect me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like this crazy great joke, but like if I see somebody, and if I see it in the movie or something, somebody standing behind somebody all ominously, I expect it to be said at some point. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I might get a little disappointed if they don't. Let's go.
Idea of the MC or a majority of the main cast being the chosen ones or some legend from prophecy, and I can understand the frustration and agree with it a bit. I think this comment brought up a good point about how the whole trope can low-key shift the trajectory of a character's journey. In the cases of Naruto and Luffy, we saw them grow and learn how to control their abilities they were given from a very young age, and it felt as if they were cleverly developing new strategies and abilities reflecting their growth as a character. But when you learn that they secretly had some overpowered fruit of legends, it kind of feels a bit watered down. Imagine if we knew...
I'm gonna disagree with that one as well. It doesn't feel like it's watered down as long as the story is still good. You know what I'm saying? Where the power comes from, I feel like, yeah, there are definitely different ways you can do that, and the whole inner beast or inner demon or something like that. It is something that's done a lot. It is, but like I said, it's one of those things that for me it has been normalized, and I feel like if I don't want that, there's still more than enough out there for me to peep. So this one doesn't annoy me either. But like I see what Mans is saying though with this one and the last one, just about like how often you see these things, because he ain't lying. You do. I guess it's about whether or not it annoys you. So let's go.
Naruto was the son of the Hokage, had amazing clan traits, and was the child of prophecy from the very beginning. All of those trials and tribulations would feel less character defining because you'd expect him to win everything. However, I do think the trope is realistic in a sense. The trope can work because we're following the success story, so certain conveniences have to be expected when it comes to a character's progression. Naruto is trying to be Hokage, so although it may seem a bit BS to have him have all these favorable genetics, I kind of have to believe it. You typically do need some type of X factor to get you to...
Man, I mean, he ain't lying. You do. Unlike unless you like Minato had the flying rage and all that other stuff, but other than that, he wasn't from no like super crazy like blood clan, was he? Like Uzumaki or Uchiha or Senju or shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
Have him have all these favorable genetics, I kind of have to believe it. You typically do need some type of X factor to get you to the top. Same thing goes for Luffy when trying to find the One Piece, or basically any character that has a lofty goal. I also feel as if the writer has a large influence on how well a plot point like this can affect the story, which applies to most of this video. I'm just stating the obvious. Luffy still had to work to actually unlock these legendary abilities and whatnot. So in a sense, it still feels like all of the extra powers and implications of this special fruit were earned. The Chosen One trope is a case of something that I've grown to accept a lot more over time as something that's low-key.
Okay, so you fuck with it. You mess with it a little bit. I like the, because yeah, the Chosen One, I feel like it gives you a direction. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's also dope if it's used to mislead. You know what I mean? Like, you think somebody's the main character, or you think this person is supposed to do this, that, and then they completely, you know what I mean? And so I feel like when you have regular plot points, when you start to move on that line, people can peep it. And if you want to do it, and you know what I'm saying, you could completely like plot twist type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Necessary depending on the story. All right, now we're gonna start getting into plot tropes that are low-key dumb as bricks. These are tropes people typically identify.
Oh, those did he say he didn't have problems with these two? That might have been my bad. But all right, let's go.
As a stupid plot point. It's weird though. Despite the widespread complaints, these are tropes people typically identify as a stupid plot point. It's weird though. Despite the widespread complaints, you'll see these tropes more often than not. The first of these tropes is the classic case of the villain monologuing long enough to allow the hero to escape. I feel
my man's is not lying. That, yeah, bruh. I don't know how many times I've watched something and been like, bro, shut the fuck up, dude. Just do it. Like, not to say you're rooting for the bad guy, but damn. You got him on the ropes. They on the slab. The blade about to cut him in half. They're on the edge of the cliff. You got the sword at their chest, and you are about to spit a whole Bible verse right now. Okay. Like, bro, it's even so bad that like other things and other shows make fun of it. He's like, oh, you're not gonna start monologuing, are you? Like, oh my god. No, and Invincible, not Invincible, sorry, Incredibles, The Incredibles. Oh my god, you're monologuing.
Than not. The first of these tropes is the classic case of the villain monologuing long enough to allow the hero to escape. I feel as if we don't see as many egregious cases nowadays, but they're prevalent in some manner. People have already talked about how stupid this trope is, and I share a similar sentiment. Like, I get that it gives the hero an opportunity to make a comeback and win, but it's not even as if these villains are saying anything particularly interesting. It's usually some unfounded arrogance that they're expressing. Half of the time, they're just explaining their plan in great detail, believing it's foolproof. It makes it even worse when the villain actually wants to murk the hero and they just start talking, which objectively puts them in a worse position. The hero now knows everything about your plan, so if they're smart enough, or, you know, have enough plot armor, they're going to be able to escape. The only argument I understand is when arrogance is a villain's primary trait and they want to embarrass the hero before their defeat. Another may be that they want to prove the hero and their convictions wrong before they kill them. But
yeah, it's gotta make sense. The monologue has to make sense versus just being, you know, that 007 villain.
Still, it makes little to no sense to give a chance to someone you know can be the biggest obstacle to your goals. This trope only works when the hero and villain are debating ideals to make it more realistic. Like when Green Goblin and Spider-Man are yapping, it makes sense for Goblin to not murk Peter off rip because he's offering him an opportunity at a partnership. Aside from these cases, this trope just really should not be done in any serious movie. Okay, this next trope was one of the more notable ones, especially when it comes to tropes that people don't really like, and it's the power of friendship. And I'll be honest, I really don't think this trope is as bad as people say it is.
Me neither. I mean, like, I understand, like, oh my god, the power of it. Like, no, like, it's because I feel like for me, it's realistic in the sense of like, say something's happening to you, like a car is about to go over a kid or something like that, whatever. You know the story of the mom who lifts the car, things like that. You know what I'm saying? When the people you care about are in danger, there is actually an adrenaline effect that can make you stronger. Now, obviously, in shows and animes, it's connected to powers, you know what I'm saying? When it's the people behind you, or the people, like, you know what I'm saying? Or a crowd can give you a rush, you know what I mean? Or, like I said, friends, family, whatever. Just people in your corner, they can give you a boost, you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, in anime, it is like over-exaggerated with power. So, like, I'm not so much mad at that one, so, you know what I mean?
I see this trope get a lot of flack for being overused, but I low-key think it's kind of realistic. The power of friendship is essentially when a character is able to win a fight because of the bonds of their friendship. I don't know if I'm crazy, but this is something I can see possibly happening in real life.
There you
I
go!
feel as if the power of friendship is sort of like when you have a crowd behind you to support whatever you're doing, assuming your friends aren't there to clown you. If all your close friends are there to help you with something, would that not make you feel a bit more energized? Now, I'm not that delusional. When your
LeBron is 30 and what?
close friends are there to help you with something, would that not make you feel a bit more energized? Now, I'm not that.
LeBron is 33, won't go on.
Delusional. When you're getting a power up strong enough to start boxing up the person who was previously shrugging off your attacks, you're getting hit with the power of friendship allegations. That's BS. Shonen and anime are typically guilty of using the trope in this manner, but it makes sense considering those series are meant for a younger audience. There are also some cases where the trope is handled correctly, where the close bond between two characters can help them push through certain trials and tribulations. I don't think this trope is particularly bad, but it still gets the side eye from me a lot because a lot of series use it so blatantly and don't even try to disguise it. Next trope I want to talk about is when characters hold back against their opponents. Dragon Ball characters are guilty of this one a lot. Let me be real with y'all. Dragon Ball fried my brain because I kind of understand why they do it so often. You can't just crush someone immediately with full power. You don't go on a track and run a race immediately at 100%. You can pull a muscle or something. Like if you know you're better than someone at a game, you gotta drag it out a bit so you can have some more fun. Really need to gauge their power band, show off while you're at it too.
He ain't like, oh, hold on, sidebar. This one time, oh man, I had to be in my mid to late 20s. But a friend of mine, she was having like a family and friend gathering that I was at, and they had like kids playing video games, and the kids were playing video games. Us, the adults, we were like in the back with our beers or whatever. I walked into where the kids was at and was like, hey yo, what y'all got going on? And they was playing Naruto, the Ninja Storm shit, and I was like, they didn't know that at the time I played that shit. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I love that game. But I walked up in there, bro. I was like, hey, can I, you know what I mean? And little homie was like, oh, well, I don't know if you know. I'm like, boy, let me try. He was like, all right, cool. Let me tell y'all something. I did this kid dirty. It was And cause I told him, I was like, nah, I just want to play straight up. Don't, you know what I mean? Just pick your guy and let's go. And he was like, all right. And they all looking at me like he about to tear my shit up, bro. Let me tell y'all something. He should have known, to be honest. If he played the game at the time, if he was really playing the game, he should have known. When I picked Darrnell, bro, I went full blown toxic. I was throwing all the paper birds in my This man didn't know what to do. Sorry. Sidebar. Just something that I thought was funny that I wanted to share with you. Just a little about me.
At a game, you gotta drag it out a bit so you can have some more fun. Really need to gauge their power band, show off while you're at it too. There's also a bit of mystery to a character when you know they could just violate at any moment. And plus, a lot of characters who do hold back do have a pretty good reason in doing so.
Oh yeah, because they're not straight up murderers.
As most of the time, they have a stricter moral code and don't want to murk anyone. Take Spider-Man for example. He's legitimately too strong for his opponents most of the time. When Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body, he punched off Scorpion's jaw. And I don't mean
metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or in any other fancy way.
His jaw got punched clean off. But there's a hidden problem that arises when you remind the audience that a character is holding back. When the character holding back eventually gets their lights punched out, it can get annoying because you know they can win the fight easily. Then there's the...
I can get that. I do. But it's one of those things where like, yeah, you're holding back, but you're still in the fight. It's not like you're holding back in the sense that they can't touch you. It's you're trying not to like final touch them. You feel me? And you can get caught slipping. But I like, yeah.
More obvious problem with characters holding back. It begs the question, why are you not just defeating your enemy instantly? It feels like these characters are just trolling because their reason for holding back is not valid whatsoever. Unless it's for the safety of the person or people around them, the reason is usually based on some selfish desire because they want to fight more. If you, as a
he ain't lying. I seen Kenpachi up there, that I seen the sayings, and it's either I don't want to hurt the other person like that, or it's I have this addiction. I like to fight. You know what I'm saying? I like the battle. So I mean, those are really. Oh, unless you are Rurouni Kenshin. You know what I'm saying? He just killed a lot of people first, and then was like, never mind, and started smacking niggas with the back of his sword. On most occasions. Let's go.
Or people around them, the reason is usually based on some selfish desire because they want to fight more. If you, as a functioning person, are genuinely concerned about someone's potential power, why wouldn't you go all out from the beginning to get rid of that possibility? Like, they'll give the villain who can transform and get stronger a chance to transform.
Don't use Vegeta as an example because that's cheating. When it comes to fighting, Vegeta's low-key built on stupid. We all know that. I have not seen the new episode of Daima, but I heard about what happened. I seen it on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I don't know how that came to be. Yes, I gotta watch that. But this right here, he's known for stupid shit like this. You know what I'm saying? You can't use him as the example. He's stupid. You know what I mean? He's the not so final Flash. You know what I'm saying? The key spam blunder stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I fuck with Vegeta. When I call him stupid, I want y'all to know I mean it as a term of endearment. He's out stupid. Come on now, but still, he's stupid. But all right, let's go.
In the beginning to get rid of that possibility. Like they'll give the villain who can transform and get stronger a chance to transform and win the fight. Half of these guys be having abilities that would dang near one-shot someone and they use it like one time or not at all. These characters would rather break the will of their opponent than win the fight, cause that makes sense when the world is in danger. And what's this?
Facts.
The villain took advantage of the opening you created, got stronger, and now they're beating the brakes off of you?
That part.
Shocking. A character holding back will usually bring rise to holes in the story as to why the villain is able to run free after an encounter with one of the strongest characters in the series. And before I move into the next part, if you're enjoying the video so far and you're new, you might as well subscribe. With that being said, the next 3 tropes I'm going to briefly discuss are more so anime exclusive or related tropes. The first of the 3 being when the MC gets hit as a running gag. I think a lot of people dislike this trope because it's never really enjoyable seeing someone get punched for no apparent reason. The MC will just be living their normal life, say something a bit stupid, then get a concussion because of it. But I will...
Okay. I feel like that's it. It's just an over exaggeration of that smack upside the head type deal, or the punch in the arm. You know what I mean? I just feel like they over exaggerated as far as what they portray, and I feel like you can't take that too seriously. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, but that's abusive. This. Oh, that's one of the words that you can get. You know what I'm saying? Monetization. But yeah. So, with that stuff, I feel that it's just a dramatization of friends hating or something like that. You know what I mean? But let's go.
For no apparent reason. The MC will just be living their normal life, say something a bit stupid, then get a concussion because of it. But I will say this, sometimes when some of these characters get hit, it's low-key justified. Like when Luffy randomly rockets all of his crewmates, some of them being normal humans, onto the ship in the blink of an eye, I think getting angry is a bit justified. Obviously, the response is not justified every single time, but I think sometimes people underestimate how many times these MCs do something brain-numbingly stupid. The next trope I want to talk about is fan service in general. Not sure if it really counts as a trope, but it really is annoying to see. Take Fire Force, for example. Personally, I think the fan service allegations gets dragged just a bit because Tamaki doesn't really have that much screen time. But when she is on screen, it's almost guaranteed some fan service is afoot. 70% of the scenes she's in, some article of clothing will be coming off, and I'm being dead serious. Take this scene, for example. Look at the scenario, look at the timer. Does this even make sense? Even if we just say it's comedy, are we really laughing about it that much? Like, how do some of these anime scenarios even happen? He slipped, fell, then pulled down her pants. What are we even doing here? I promise you, without any of these scenes, the series will remain the exact same. The trope is really only good for the freaks of the world who enjoy it. Another trope that's especially...
Listen, okay? You may be 100% right. All I can say is I'm not mad at it. But my man still ain't lying. He's cooking, let him cook.
Annoying to come across is when characters start explaining their ability. And while we're at it,
I'm not mad at that at all, to be honest with you. That is definitely an anime specific trope, and that is one of the reasons I love it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there is a specific awkward energy because no one's doing shit like that. You feel me? It's very unrealistic, but at the same time, I would like to know what, you know what I mean? I feel like a better way that I've seen it done is instead of the character saying what their whole is, like somebody watching is explaining it to somebody else watching, or somebody watching is saying it in their head. And then that's how you get the understanding of it. But like, especially in situations where like, don't nobody know what they do, and you know what I mean? But okay, we move.
Let's lump in when people magically just guess the ability of their opponent. Both of them make little to no sense. In any type of fight, your biggest advantage is your opponent not knowing what you're capable of doing. Therefore, if that information gets revealed, you take away a lot of your advantage. So why on earth would these characters reveal their ability? Let me be clear. This trope mainly
Nope, he's right. He's right. I can't take nothing away from it. The reason I like it is solely for me. The reason I like it is specifically for me. Just so that, like, they're telling me. I don't give a what's going on over there.
happens to help the viewer out and actually know what's happening during a fight. However, in universe, it still makes no sense.
Okay, fine. You just get, like, he goes over everything that I think about.
The only time it does make sense is in a series like Jujutsu Kaisen because revealing your curse technique makes it stronger. But even then, would it not be more beneficial to hit an enemy with an attack that they don't know how to counter? They do this in Bleach.
Imagine if somebody just hit you with hollow purple, like just hit you with it, like, oh god, no.
Would it not be more beneficial to hit an enemy with an attack that they don't know how to counter? They do this in Bleach a lot. Y'all know I love my examples, so allow me to introduce you to the captain of the 3rd Division, Rose. This guy has a very strong Bankai that if you don't know what to do against it, you'll probably lose. Keep in mind, we are fighting in a war right now, so every battle matters. After popping his Bankai on the enemy, Rose has the bright idea to explain all the intricacies of his Bankai. Guess what happens to him after that? You revealed your ability and lost because your opponent thought of a way to counter it. Nah, I can't say I saw that one coming. Then honestly, anytime.
Like, he ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that I now know what's going on, but it is very unfortunate for you, fictional character. I'll say that.
I see a character guess an opponent's abilities off rip, I just call cap. We don't see it very often, but when we do, I just can't believe it that much. Like, the character will get hit with the most basic application of the move and automatically understand how their opponent's ability works. But I do
battle tech, man, you gotta understand this big brain in the battle, you feel me? Don't get mad just because you ain't on that level. It's all good.
suppose a lot of the characters who guess the opponent's abilities are typically smart characters, so I can't really hate on it that much. The last section of this video has tropes that are flagrantly bad. I'm talking plot points that are legitimate.
All right, now this is where, you know what I'm saying, we gonna see if we, you know what I mean, if we here with this. But let's go.
Stain on a series or a movie. The tropes stray more towards bad writing than anything else. The first of these tropes I want to talk about is a plot twist. It's very hard to actually pull off a good and relevant plot twist, and most of the time they aren't executed very well. The point of a plot twist is to suddenly change the conditions or setting of the story to make an even more engaging narrative. However, there are so many times when the sudden change is way too
something Paradise, where the demons was eating the kids. They did, I don't know what it was, season 2, whatever. There was like 3 different plot twists. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And the first one, I love the first season. I don't know what the fuck happened. Did that shit happen in the manga? I never read the manga. Sorry, homie just really got me thinking about that again. Like, I was like, what the fuck did they do? Like, how you gonna give me something straight gas? Season 1. And they they did the same shit. Wait a minute. Not plot twist wise, but just as far as having me in the first half and losing me there. The ninja one, where they had like the ninja mech suits, that's what ruined the anime. We was on that for a minute. They was making the videos about it, talking about it, doing the reviews and shit. And then they put those mech suits on and nobody fucked with it after that. It died immediately. That shit came out on fire. Ninja something. But that anime came out on fire. Everybody was on it, talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I even had known some people that were going to make a song about it. You know what I mean? But like, they did the mech suit animation on that bitch, and it was such a downgrade from what we got. But as far as what my man's here is talking about, yeah. Let's go.
The story to make an even more engaging narrative. However, there are so many times when the sudden change is way too drastic, making the plot more incoherent. For instance, look at 7 Deadly Sins. The ending was already a bit wacky at that point because it was getting dragged out. Then after defeating the main villain, whom we've hyped up for basically the entire series, boom, there's another villain. Boom, there's a betrayal. Boom, character gets revived. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, he right. That did happen, and it happened pretty quick. But I think it was just this, because was there a movie after this? I don't know. But all right, let's go.
Entire series, boom, there's another villain. Boom, there's a betrayal. Boom, character gets revived. Boom, boom, boom. You get the point. The plot twist moves on from what we assume to be the final battle into an actual final arc that wasn't really hinted at. It just makes me feel as if the plot twist was only there to check off a box. I know it was to set up the next series, but it just left me more bewildered than anything else. It's even crazier because there are already better plot twists in this series already, so this one just felt even more out of place. There are also the BS plot twists that make you feel genuine anger. Black Zetsu and Shippuden comes to mind immediately. Or how about Lelouch and Euphemia? I'd say that not only classifies as a plot twist, but one that really made no sense of happening. It felt like it was put in to keep the series on pace to a certain goal. goal. The next egregious trope is the shock value death. Sometimes a series will randomly kill off a character suddenly, usually as gruesome as possible to elicit some sort of shock value to the audience. Quite frankly, this trope has never been good. Neji's
Glenn, rest in peace. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That was crucial.
gruesome as possible to elicit some sort of shock value to the audience. Quite frankly, this trope has never been good. Neji's death in the war arc is a classic exhibit of a sudden character death for no reason. There was literally no reason for him to die. His death merely served as a way to shock the viewer and show how dangerous the war really is for the characters.
But I don't think that arbitrarily made his death bad. You gotta think about it, bro. In their ninja world, right? Who for real was growing up with all of their friends? Like, y'all all made it out. Y'all all made it to adulthood. Every single one of you. You know what I'm saying? Not Kakashi. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel that in that sense, you know what I'm saying, the kids from Konoha growing up, fighting, all this other stuff, and the fact that Neji was also one of the ones that went on the mission to get Sasuke, and you got to see him level up and things like that, I feel like Neji's death also gave it a sense of realism. You know what I'm saying? You and your friends are not exempt. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas can die too. type shit. So, yeah, I still think that what it was everything you said as far as the shock value, whatever, was impactful. But if it wasn't Neji, then it would have had to been Choji, you know what I'm saying? Or it would have had to been Shikamaru. It would have had to been Choji. It would have had to been Rock Lee. It would have had to been one of them. One of them had to go as far as what I believe to be a realistic representation of the world they lived in. They wasn't all going to make it. So I actually liked the fact that they took one away, and the fact that they took one of the more stronger ones away, even though I will say that it would have been cooler to see if Neji was going to go out. It would have been doper if he went out in a more magnanimous way. If he was like 1v1, trying to 1v1 Obito or Madara or some shit, if things had lined up that way. But the fact that he went, I wasn't mad at. Let's go.
That being said, it was done poorly, and it's pretty hard to defend such a death. Shock value deaths also just feel like an FU to the viewers when it happens so suddenly. If you've seen Justice League Apocalypse War, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The movie is
there's a bunch of time and stuff, man. You can't, come on.
Essentially started murking a majority of the characters you watched for years across different movies. It was supposed to be the last movie of the universe, but it still doesn't change the fact that all these characters died to try to surprise the audience. Mind you, this movie
Listen, bro, here's my thing, and what really I picked with this was the animation. I loved it. I was disappointed that when they got to the Crisis arc, I was disappointed in how it was animated in comparison to what we had been getting. And at first, I didn't know that the two arcs were going to be connected because they were obviously animated different. And once I found out, I was very pissed off that not at the storyline, not where it was going, because I still watched it. I still like the storyline. I still like all that good stuff. But after having this, you know what I'm saying? We was watching this and the Teen Titans versus the Justice League and all that. Like, the animation on these and the way it looked was awesome. And I was hoping, and really, really hoping, that it was going to be like a standard thing for the DC movies. But it was not. So that's the part that upset me.
But it still doesn't change the fact that all these characters died.
But yeah, and they just, you know what I'm saying, it was a more rough, rugged, and raw universe. But they went because it was moving in a different direction, I guess. You know,
to try to surprise the audience. Mind you, this movie universe wasn't always killing off characters every film, so this was out of the ordinary. The one time we saw a bunch of character deaths was the alternate future where basically everything went wrong. There's also the fact that all of these events got reset anyways, so there's little to no reason for any of it happening. However,
and see, okay, when it comes to stuff like that, I personally take it as at some point, you just gotta sit, watch, and enjoy the shit. You know what I'm saying? In Flashpoint stuff, we know man's time travels. We know this is gonna happen. We know that's how it moves, and we know that Flash has this ability. Period. So anytime you see things go crazy bad in a DC, Marvel, whatever, and it's in the main universe, you can already piece together that either somebody's imagining something or somebody about to go back in time and change some shit. You know what I mean? So at that point, for me, it's about watching how things develop to that point. Like how do things get so bad that this is now the only recourse? You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
However, I will say, shock value can be pulled off correctly depending on the series. For something like
AOT fucked me up, boy. They gave us a whole starting cast. These were people I thought we was about to stick with, get to know. You know what I mean? Gone. So, oh my God.
AOT, shock value deaths almost feel like a bit of a necessity because it's the reality of the world they live in. But besides those few exceptions, the sudden death of a character holds no value to me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This next trope is my least favorite one. I despise when characters get dumber for no reason and do things that are out of character. This is called plot-induced stupidity. I feel as if this is different from holding back because holding back.
Okay. We had this conversation earlier. It was in this video. Yeah, stupid. Vegeta got the stupid. I understand, but like I said, it's so stupid. You know what I'm saying? We fuck with Vegeta. Just stop key spamming. Put the not so final flash away. Stop letting people power up in front of you. Whoop their ass. Just whoop their ass, Vegeta. Just whoop their ass.
Back is voluntary. Characters getting dumber just feels like the writers need to move the plot forward somehow, so they just give the characters a lobotomy. Goku's already not the brightest, but in his fight versus Super 17, his brain was completely turned off. He's fighting Super 17 and realized that this android may be absorbing or at bare minimum nullifying his ki blast. Kind of like, you know, other androids in the past. This idiot decides to spam even more ki blasts for no reason. Please, I implore everyone watching this video to go watch that fight. Go.
I mean, he right though. He right. He ain't lying. That's like, see, that's why GT, it wasn't my favorite. I love the transformations. I did watch it. And I enjoyed it. I did. I'm not going to lie. I did enjoy it, but comparatively to what I had seen in Dragon Ball to that point, I was not thrilled with how things was moving. And I even loved Super 17. The fact that him and Goku fought and it was going all around the world and shit. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, Goku start like as I'm watching Goku lob off the ki blast, I'm like, the fuck are you doing? You're being stupid. Like you're being Vegeta stupid.
Goku uses Vegeta's technique more than Vegeta does. He even launched a 10 times Kamehameha at him. We also have the classic cases of speedsters forgetting that they can run fast. Apparently, Quicksilver doesn't realize he's faster than speeding bullets and that you can actually push someone out of the way without taking their spot yourself. Other speedsters are guilty of being.
Well, you could push somebody out the way, but I feel like in that sense, you gotta be realistic. If you move a regular person that speeds like that, you're gonna fuck him up. You could break something. You could kill him. I do believe that he should have been fast enough to put the car there and also get behind it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I mean, you get the car there, and then he just turned his speed off right at that moment. But okay, we move.
Being just as dumb. CW Barrett. Sidebar, this show really is just cheeks. It really broke the inner child inside of me. Another case that didn't make sense to me at first was Gojo not going after one of the disaster curses in Shibuya. I was so confused as to why he went after the transfigured humans first. Then I actually decided to read what was happening in the scene, and it's a bit more forgivable since they gave some explanation as to why he didn't go after them. The curses probably would have woken up if he attacked them, but it's still kind of shaky because it's Gojo we're talking about. Plot-induced stupidity isn't mutually exclusive to fights, but it's the most clear when it's done in a fight. Oh yeah, I didn't forget about you, Star-Lord. You dumb as bricks too. The next trope I'm gonna
Yeah, he ain't lying with Star-Lord, boy. That one was
discuss is a bit more character specific and it's related to Yu-Gi-Oh! And honestly, I'm really glad we're all mature enough to start admitting that Yama Yu-Gi-Oh! Was straight up cheating in his series. When I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time,
when he used what was Dark Hole as a quick play. Oh god, listen, their rules are different.
All mature enough to start admitting that Yama Yu-Gi-Oh! Was straight up cheating in his series. When I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time, I didn't know what was happening, so I just followed what the anime was doing. Then I actually took time to learn how to play and started rewatching the original series. This guy was straight up making up rules. This BS he did against Kaiba was straight cap. What do you mean my dragon is decaying from the inside out? This was factually Yugi during half of his duels.
Fine, I'll have Blue Eyes White Dragon attack over Dark Magician.
Were you not paying attention?
Paying attention to what?
The rotation of the moon around the Earth.
What? No.
Heart of the Cards is also the most capability I've ever seen. I'm supposed
Heart
to
of the
believe that
Cards.
as long as he has faith in his deck, he'll get the card he needs. Imagine someone told you that in real life and they got the card they needed every single time. We'd all assume they're cheating. Remember,
Oh,
this
God.
guy's some pharaoh from centuries ago playing card games in the modern era. He's probably using some millennium magic to help him get the cards he needs. And just to top it off, here's Yugi
Let's go.
drawing 4 cards when Pot of Greed only allows him to draw 2 cards. Animation error? I
Cheating.
think not. That man is cheating. The second to
Cheating.
last trope is, actually, let me just put it like this. No. It's a different culture, fine, whatever. But come on, bruh, this is just weird. I don't think I need to talk about how weird it is to portray adults as kids, and then even worse, put these characters in romantic positions. And to anyone who thinks this image is completely fine because she's an adult, look at this image and tell me you wouldn't have to do a double take. I'm not spending.
Yeah, you would have to, because I know this whole situation. That's like somebody he's got like what the condition or their little type deal. But yeah, my man, he's right, and I feel like it's done like that on purpose. They say, oh, hey, nah, this person may look like this, but they're really this old. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, does he think do they think that they're tricking people? Like, they don't know what you're doing for real? Like, okay, cool. You're not going to slap minor on the damn thing. Like, you're not going to make it blatantly obvious. Okay. But, like, who's not connecting those dots? Like, what do you mean? Oh, this person's really this old. They just look like this. And I'm just like, bro, no, you drew a child. You made a child. And now this, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, yeah, different culture. Cool. It ain't mine. That's all I really got for you. Like, you do you. You do you. Let's go.
Too long of this trope. Let's just move on to the final one. And this trope is a character getting written out of the story only for them to return at the most convenient time. And this low-key is going to be a preview for a later video I got in the works right now. I just find it very interesting how fans of a certain series will dunk on other series for bringing back a thought to be dead character and not bat an eye when it happens in their own series. I understand that a lot of the time people don't care about narrative as long as their favorite character comes back. And I'm on that train too. I'd be the happiest person alive if they brought back Jiraiya. But when I see
they gave us Temu Jiraiya. They gave us Temu Jiraiya.
Get good writing because of foreshadowing, I start to question whether we saw the same thing or not. It's just hard for me to believe certain characters who are essentially in limbo come back at the exact moment needed to save the day. Stories will try to avoid this problem by making it apparent that we don't officially know the whereabouts of said characters. Sure, that makes it make sense on how it happened, but it doesn't mean it was necessarily good. And I'm sure that there are some of you guys that are catching on to what I'm saying here, but I'm gonna leave a lot more of my argument for a later video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, especially considering how much longer it is than usual. I feel a bit better not uploading super frequently if I end up dropping like a 20-minute video. Let me guys know if you guys want a potential part 2 to this video. I thought I got a lot of the tropes that I didn't like, but maybe there's some I missed. With that being said, have a great day and peace out.
Yo, that was dope. We watched that dope. Here's factual statements was said, you know what I'm saying? We had some agreeances and disagreeances, you feel me? But I mean, this was on. He was on, you know what I'm saying? We liked it. That's tape. We should have liked, we should have subscribed. Follow me on all that social media. I'll catch y'all next one, fam. Peace.